And there is that long pause. It's very awkward. So what is up, everybody? It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock. It's time for Gaming Beyond the Field. Starfield, that is. And just want to let you know right off the bat, I'm having a rough day. I found a butterfly in my yard this morning with the wings torn off. I poured Monster on it. And, I mean, Red Bull, I'm sorry. It did not give it wings. It just drowned.
What?
So I'm a little upset.
Oh, no.
Shouldn't mess with your butterflies like that, man.
Is that just a caterpillar?
Yep.
I was about to say, also known
No,
as
it was a butterfly without wings, man. I poured it on there and it just drowned. Red Bull did not give it wings.
North Carolina, man, that's weird.
So I'm all upset today. But anyway, it is that time again. So let's introduce everybody to the panel that we have here with us, and let's get this shit started. At the bottom, the O's are actually zeros. What's up, Dribble?
Not much. How's it going? Having a great time. Doing everything but playing Starfield right now. I started it.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh my God. But no, I got to be the photographer and get inside the right up stage at Baby Metal and Deathlock. So yeah, got to do stuff like that last night. So
okay,
you know, yes, whatever.
That sounds like fun. It does.
Oh, it was fun. It was a blast.
You probably can't hear what the damn no.
What?
He never could. Remember? I'm about ready.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, old age has already affected his hearing.
What'd you say, Sonny?
Yep, pretty much. All right, and then next to him we have the panel Pony Pumper. What's up, Piniac?
What's up? What's going on
Get it
tonight?
up. All right, no, just kidding.
Yeah. Let's go. Actually got a chance to start Baldur's Gate 3 today.
Have you fucked the bear yet? That's the main question.
I haven't fucked anything yet, which I was like,
damn.
How long is this going to take?
Not long. What have you played, like 20 minutes? Because pretty much that's
like
all it takes.
3 hours, maybe.
Man, that's crazy. You are not working hard enough.
That's what the bear was saying. How long is this going to take?
Yeah. So
yeah, the bear's already got the negligee on, waiting on you.
No, so I'm loving it so far. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I was playing GT7 earlier this week in anticipation of the weekend. I didn't want to get any deeper into The Witcher because I'll just leave that alone until I get back to it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Well, that sounds exciting as hell, doesn't it?
It sure is.
I'm telling you, dude, that's amazing. That's pretty funny. All right, and then our special guest, the man that needs no introduction. He's half of Season Gaming. What's up, Dan?
I'm only a quarter now.
He's half.
Well, I mean, Dan's a big dude. You know, I'm not trying to discount him.
That's true. Like percentage-wise, like body-wise, yeah, you might be right. Travis is so tiny. Ames is nothing. He's just got a giant neck. And Hogue is just, he's just Hogue. He's not much. There's not much going on over there in Michigan. But yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Dude, always love having you on. Love talking with you.
Yeah, it's a good time. I'm
those old guys talking games. Doesn't get better than that.
Oh yeah. I already did it once today. We had our show this morning at 10, and it was long. It was like 3 hours.
3 hours long. Yeah.
Yeah. For something that like I said, I haven't played Starfield yet, so it was like, man, I have no idea. I just tried to ask questions and ask people about it, and it just got crazy. I was just like, man, this is nuts. But it was, I'm ready to go. This is round 2. I'm hoping less than 3 hours. So
definitely less than 3 hours.
It'll be less than 3 hours. I promise you that.
Yes, definitely less.
We're good then.
We might not even make 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of times we only make 2.
My wife just like bolted out of the house because her mom and dad, their air conditioner went out, so she's bringing them a new window unit for now.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so now I'm alone with the doggies, but that's fine. That's all right. I'm ready to go.
At least dogs don't talk much, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know, dude. If they're anything like mine is. She thinks she's a kid.
Yes.
And she will sit and like make growling noises at you, wanting attention.
Yes.
And she does that 24/7.
Yeah, I got 2 doodles. I have to say that they are super anxiety ridden and need to be coddled at all times. And then they'll fight with each other, and one of them will just like make weird grunting noises. Like it's just weird. And it's just like, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Just fight. Either fight or don't fight. Just don't do, not like crazy. It's just, puppy roughhousing. What I call it. So.
Well, mine doesn't have a friend. She follows me and my wife through the house all day. She's got to be right under your feet, and she's like 100 pounds, and she's a pit.
Dog.
So it's not like you're going to just step over her.
No.
You trip over her, and she just all day long, dude, got to be right on top of you. It's so weird.
I mean, I'm surprised I haven't snapped their leg yet, just by me stepping on them. Just if they like, I'll be walking, and then it'll be like, oh, hey, look. Where did you come from? I'm going to smash you. I'm not a small person. So, this is it, it's going to happen one day. And I'm going to be out for like, $2,000 to take them to like the doggy daycare or emergency room or whatever the hell it is. It costs too much money.
Well, and then the weird part of it is too, dogs get jealous.
Oh yeah.
Because my dog Lilith now gets jealous if we FaceTime with our grandson.
That's crazy.
She will go grab a toy out of her toy box and bring it and start grunting, wanting us to play with her.
No way.
To get off the phone with him.
Yeah.
I kid you not, dude. She gets jealous. It's crazy.
Yeah.
She thinks she's a kid.
Bad news up here. That's all I'm saying. They have like tripled in the last week just based on annoyances. Like, what the heck are you doing? Come on, let's go. Stop. What are you doing? Stop barking. God, what is happening? That's usually my whole thing.
It doesn't always work.
No, it never works. Never.
And potentially, I try to be nice to a dog that could potentially eat my face.
Yeah. Well, you got whole other problems, but
yeah, she's huge.
Yeah.
But enough about the dog thing. All right. Now the official drummer for Gaming Beyond the Box. What's up, Scrub?
Hey, what's going on? Good to see everybody.
Good to see you too, man.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? No, never mind.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah. You always gotta say that at the beginning of the show. But no, I just been chilling, playing a smidge of Call of Duty. Man, they finally dropped the 1911 in the game. They put it in the 2011 based off the STI or Staccato 2011, and that thing shoots like butter. It's straight rifle. It's a cheap gun, and I understand now why they never had 1911s in this new Modern Warfare 2, because God, I just run around with a pistol and just go to town on people, and it's not fair compared to the rest of the pistols in the game. It's a market difference, very different, but fun. So I played with that just enough until Starfield came out. So I had my early access playing with Starfield, and it's been fun. Having a good time, but we'll get to that. So
we will get to that eventually. And now the man with the beard looks really excited. Kratos is third cousin, 3 times from Big Bot Marriage. What's up, Bomber?
Man, what's up? I'm just
I did all that with no caffeine. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
I'm just interested to get into these topics and of course talk about the Field of No Stars and see how the world takes it. So let's have fun.
How the world takes it. Dude, we're used to you. You're like the curmudgeon of the panel. You're like the old opinionated guy that's living in the nursing home by himself in the panel. You know that, right? I mean, really, you are. You and Peniac both. I mean, you're like on the Xbox side, but he's on the Pony side. It's kind of strange. You kind of balance out. But...
Hey, at least we get balance. That's the whole
that's
point,
it.
right?
You got to have balance.
Just have
got to have your yin and yang.
Yeah,
got your yin and your yang in there. And of course, I'm the same dumbass that's always been here every week. And welcome back. We are on Rumble live this week. Apparently, they've got their shit fixed, so we are streaming live there and back on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
We're at much different destinations again today. Woo-hoo. But yeah, I actually stopped streaming to Rumble because it kept screwing up about a month ago, so decided to try it again. So we're live there. So hi, everybody on Rumble. I'm waving to you, but you can't see it because I got the camera turned off on purpose. Good enough. All right. But I am on my 2 weeks of deprivation from, believe it or not, I have not played Diablo in 2 weeks. I'm excited. I've rode out the wave. The DTs are over. I'm not salivating anymore. I'm actually thrilled not to be playing it, but I did break into a little game called Starfield yesterday. And we're going to talk about that one here in just a few minutes. Is there anything else really happened this week in gaming? Oh, yeah.
No.
I remember.
Some Twitter anger. Yeah.
Yeah, so might as well just go ahead and dive into it and get it out of the way real quick. What do y'all think about that? Let's do it. And yes, I refuse to make a banner that says X. Offended by.
Man, I completely forgot about that thing. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we're not gonna make a Twitter banner that says what is X offended about. We're gonna just keep calling it Twitter. Fair enough. All right, good.
As we should. As we should.
I haven't updated
Exactly.
my phone yet. I still got Twitter.
Oh, watch out.
How the hell did you do that?
I turn off auto updates. Do it by myself.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
That's the only way. Yep.
The only way to do it.
Yeah.
My browser switched back to Twitter. Like I have the bird in the top and it's twitter.com and
Hmm.
it still says repost and reply.
Good old days.
but Yeah.
Huh, that's
Pretty
weird. Mine switched to X weeks ago.
Yeah, the
But-
phone just is X though, so that's stupid. But
Yeah, it is what
whatever.
It is. Who
It
cares?
works same as it did.
Yeah,
last
same
week.
old shit.
Yep.
And today, apparently, pronouns offend people. So
I think pronouns
Oh,
have
my
always
goodness.
offended people.
Yeah.
I saw this video, and sadly, the guy that posted this video, I've had blocked for ages, even on my original account, and I blocked him on this new account, but he still keeps popping up because people keep sharing it.
Mhm.
And please, we tell you this a million times a week. Posting this stuff constantly just gives these people what they want. They get ad revenue from it now,
yeah, now they get
thanks
money.
to Elon Musk.
What? That's-
Yeah, you get advertising, dude. The more impressions you get, the more advertising,
Oh, yeah.
and people make money on X now or Twitter, whichever one you want to call it.
I ain't got to worry about that.
Now you got to talk more shit.
So it just amazes me, and I'm gonna be honest and straight up because we're a panel. We've always been honest with our opinions. Me personally, I'm at that age. I don't get the pronoun thing, but here's my thought: it doesn't faze me. I don't care. I got to that screen in Starfield. It said he, him, they, them, whatever, and I'm just like, I guess I'm a he, him. I guess I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. Click. Boom. Went on about my day. I didn't feel the need to make a video about it.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, oh, they got
I mean,
those. Okay.
Hold on.
I
Let me,
don't-
let me get this straight. I missed this whole thing. So there is a choice in Starfield when you first create your character,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
pick your pronoun, and then people got
Your
upset
name.
about that.
One dude.
One
Mainly.
guy.
One dude.
Okay, one guy got upset and then made a video about how it's what, like woke or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that-
Yep.
he's
He said he's going to return the
he's
game.
refunding it because
Oh, okay.
it's bullcrap that they have to shove it in his face and all this stuff. And
Wow.
yeah,
You know, the
so-
funny thing is, it didn't even feel like it was shoved in my face. I just went right past it. Whoopie doo.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're not
Yeah,
even
I
paying
mean,
attention-
and
You know
then
what I
there was,
mean?
but now
You'll
there's a
never see
couple
it
other
again.
people. There's a couple other people that are piggybacking on it now because they realize how many impressions he's got.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, I saw a girl say
So-
the same thing.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I'm at that age. I'm 50 years old. I don't get it. Now, I don't personally get it. I don't. But that if that's you, then that's
Well,
great.
It's not like it makes you
I don't
mad,
care.
though.
Yeah, it doesn't make me mad. It doesn't phase me in one way or the other. It doesn't affect my life at all. You know,
Hold
if
on.
you feel the need for that, then that's you. It doesn't phase me. I don't get upset. I don't understand why this guy is so upset about it.
I'm not sure that he is.
Shit.
I think, yeah. That's
I
what
knew
was
I
gonna
knew
say
I
so.
forgot something. I was supposed to
Is
go to
it?
Walgreens and buy a cane so I can raise it and throw my fist in the air. You dirty bastards.
I mean, come on, man. It's just like,
I just think he just knew that it would catch on and he knew he would be able to get paid for it. I mean, that's simple as that.
wasn't this, wasn't
And
this
that's what a lot of
review
people-
tech?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing now is they just say stupid stuff so that it gets retweeted or gets quote tweeted, whatever you want to call it, and reposted,
Yeah.
whatever you want to say. But he's just going to make money. He'll end up probably getting like $1,000 because of it, and he'll be happy.
Well, this is what I need to do. I mean,
I know, right? I mean,
I'm in the wrong
just,
business here.
just go on there and be controversial, and then you'll 100% make a lot of money.
And people feel they need to like dunk on these hard takes, on these shitty takes so badly
Yep.
that it's like, if you just ignored it, like
Dude, it's
what
just
you're
like
retweeting
it's a
is not
never-ending cycle.
original. It's not clever. It's not anything.
No.
Nobody cares. and all you're doing is making these people money.
It's the same
Like,
as the IGN
exactly.
bullshit, dude. Like, if I have seen one tweet about, I can't believe this guy, he rated the game 8, like, I don't know, some other game an 8, and he only gave Starfield 7. Who cares? It's his opinion.
I
if you
I
get
do
one
like
now, the
right
funny
now,
part-
I'd say it's probably a 6 right now. Like,
I do
The
like how
funny
that
part of
guy's
that-
super biased, right? He's super biased because he gave it a
Well,
7.
now the
like-
funny
but-
part of
but
that is though,
Xbox Addict site
I
gave
don't
it
even
a
care if
100.
I don't care if he even said it in the
That's not
past that he hated Xbox or whatever. I don't really care because he's given other Xbox games an 8 or higher. So who freaking cares at this point? Like, why make it a big deal? Like, y'all, like, there's so many people that are so upset about it. Like, I just can't believe it. Starfield should be rated higher. Who freaking cares what? So Metacritic can be higher? What does it matter? Like, it doesn't matter.
well,
It
but now the
literally
funny part of that is they held a Twitter space to
Mhm.
They
defend
did.
What? No, they didn't.
his
do that.
They
review.
did.
Yeah,
was
they
there.
did.
They did
When?
They
a
did
couple of
several
days ago,
spaces.
dude.
They did
Like
several
yesterday or something.
spaces.
Oh my
Yeah.
just
Now the
one.
thing is this: if that is not bait, I don't know what is.
There was probably
Because-
like 4,000 people in that space.
Yeah, it was
right?
IGN's
Oh, dude, there
account,
was
not
more
his
than that.
personal. It was IGN's account.
Oh,
And
doing
they
stuff.
knew what they were doing because the simple fact is, and most people don't like to admit it, a lot of these journalism sites are hurting. That's why there are being so many people laid off because they're not getting the attention they used to get because smaller creators are drawing more attention. But they have found a way. And as bad as everybody hates Kotaku, and me personally, Jason Schreier, and everybody knows how much I despise Jason Schreier.
Nice.
If he puts out something, he knows people are going to go click on it. They're going to repost it. They're going to talk trash, and that is revenue that is the clicks. The same thing with IGN. They know what they're doing, people, and you're feeding into it. That's all. You're feeding him those clicks, those impressions. They make money on. That's it.
Well, I'll even say this on top of that is like, who cares if IGN was defending it? It's their person,
Exactly.
person they used to review the game. Yeah, they're going to back it because they approved his review and said fine.
He's the
7.
one that made the
And who
choice, though.
cares? Like
He's the one.
7, it's fine. That means
No,
it's a
no,
good
no.
game. Let it just be a good game.
He's
To
the upper
you, it may be
management.
great, but who freaking cares? He reviewed it. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like,
No.
everybody's like, oh, he should have. It should be way higher. I'm like, really?
Well, now some of
No,
his
no.
comments were bait. If you
Oh,
read
yeah.
a few of them, some of them were really bait centric. Like some of the, my job has its perks. And I mean, he has made some weird comments, but that was how he got people to interact with him.
Well,
That is exactly how he did it.
Part of the issue is he's also in the management side where he's supposed to issue it to somebody else, and he decided he wanted to review it.
well,
He's also been
let him
hypocrite.
review. Like, again, who cares?
Obviously,
like,
they should have just gave it to Destin because that would have been a totally unbiased.
Oh,
review.
it would have. Yeah, it definitely
What?
would have been non-biased at all. It wouldn't have gotten a 9.5 or a 10. No, not at all.
Yeah, but he even said he wrote it and thinking it was an 8, and he turned around and gave it a 7. So again, there's so many different things. It does, it is what it is. I just think it's more the hypocrisy from him. And everybody is going to have an opinion. Everybody is going to be leaning to Xbox or PlayStation. We all have preferences. So part of that, you want the expert in RPGs to be the one that knows it, because if you're going to say in previous Bethesda games that this feature or this part of the game is the greatest gift to God that they gave him, and yet in Starfield it's the shittiest piece, but it's the same thing that you just praised, the consistency is not there. And that's what a lot of people have lost sight on, is the consistency. That was one of the things that people started speaking up about. So
And see, me, I don't really give a damn what the guy says or any other site.
that's why I don't like fucking scores, Just say,
Yeah,
it's a good game, or
don't-
no, it's not a good game, and move
Exactly
on.
what, exactly
Hey,
what
if there
Dan
weren't
tweeted
scores,
the other
I
day.
wouldn't be able to play fantasy
100%.
so be quiet. Scores are good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
fine
I
with
mean-
getting rid of him.
Yep.
Just get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm
Honestly,
100% getting rid of it.
Nobody even cares about the dude who gave it a 5.
Nope.
Let's
That's
focus
the
on the
sad-
guy. Let's focus
that's
on the
the
center,
hilarious
not
part.
the guy who gave it a 5.
Yeah,
And I
that's the
think
hilarious-
GameSpot gave it a 7 as well.
Yeah,
They did.
and they ain't going after them.
Yeah.
They're just going after IGN.
Well, it's because
'Cause IGN was first.
other areas of IGN has scored it higher.
Yeah, well, again,
That
it's
is- that
different
is
people.
true,
IGN
but-
US
It's
has
different
scored
people.
lowest.
Like that's what I don't
Yeah,
understand. It's
You've got
okay.
Dan Stapleton, and then you don't have like Dan Stapleton's son on in Japan, or it's me, Dan Stapleton, in Italy. These are completely different people.
Yep.
I don't normally defend IGN, but I will here because having written reviews and done stuff for SG, it's not you can't separate. Like there's always going to be your I don't want to say bias, but like your opinion. That's what reviews are. You can't really be objective when you're giving your review. I mean, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. An objective.
It's a
review,
cognitive. It's what they call cognitive bias, whether you
Yeah.
realize it or not.
Yeah,
still
you're
a
all
bias.
have something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be huge. I love. Hold on. Let me turn this stupid. Where am I? Here. Okay. Here's my camera. I got this 7 here. Like this was a joke. I get Assassin's Creed Valhalla a 7, and I got so much crap
That's so much shit for that.
at SG, and then from some other people.
I can't believe you gave it that high of a score.
That's right. Yeah, I thought it was pretty high actually. I was almost at a 6. But I did it as much as I love the series. I love the series. It's not, it was basically a lot of the same stuff. And the point of the score thing, you have to be able to. The reason the scores exist, and this was explained to me by Travis, who works at IGN, it makes sense, is that the readers kind of use that number to, for one, the SOE or SEO. I'm sorry, that makes a big difference in that thing. I mean, IGN pops up all the time for me. As much as I don't like their site personally, but also we have to consider who the audience is, and a lot of them don't read the review. They'll go straight for the number. They'll scroll all the way down or go to the end of the video and they're like 7. That's ridiculous. And then but you didn't. There's so much more nuance in the written word. Like if you can sit there and defend and say why you gave this score or whatever it is, which is ultimately I think arbitrary at the end. You can an informed reader can go in there and go, okay, that makes sense. He explained himself. I may not agree with what his problems were, but most of these people that flew off the handle did it before they even had the game.
Thank
Like
you.
they didn't even play the game.
Yep.
Like they were just complaining about it. I'm like, what are you doing? You haven't even played it. Maybe he's right. I have no idea. I haven't played it either. So I mean, I can't say if he's right or wrong. It's just that you're just going to get that difference. People are all different. The problem I have with really the whole thing is just you're starting to see other journalists from very big sites come in and be like and question that review. I'm not going to name names, but like big sites, okay, that's crazy. I can't believe he did that. That's a little bit
Paul
nuts.
Tassi, we'll name it,
Okay, yeah, Paul Tassi.
and Bloomberg.
Well, yeah, that was Forbes, right? And then even Jez, he's like, hey, it's a little crazy. I think it's more, cynicism. That's an unfair
Yes, exactly.
criticism, I think,
Yep,
because
think so too.
you can't come in and you're being. If anything, that's what you want to be. You want to kind of go in there and be like, all right, let's see what this can do, right? Let's put all my biases aside as much as I can, and play the game and see what ultimately they're going to creep in. I don't think Stapleton is I don't know the guy, but I don't think he's like a honk for PlayStation or Xbox. I've seen all the memes and the other stuff. I mean, I'm not a big fan of consolidation either. I saw that thing going around. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. But in the end, you gotta do service to your readers, not the people that just read the score. And if you can do that, then you're fine. Just stand by it. And that space that they did, I don't know if it was necessary, per
Yeah.
se,
That
but it
space, dude. Oh my
I
god.
was yeah,
It
'cause it was
definitely
him and-
wasn't necessary.
I don't think
it
they needed to
wasn't
do it.
necessary.
He should have
Yeah.
just stood by what he gave it and just been like,
Thank
"Hey,
you.
That's also what
Right.
made it more cringe as to like, okay, so this a bias thing? You know what I mean? So it gave those naysayers credibility of they're correct because you're doubling down on something that and it makes it's a bad look.
yeah." I mean, for at that point, it had spiraled out of control already. This is like the first. This is
And the game's
5 or
not out
6
yet.
hours before the game even came out or whatever it was. I was like, this is insane. that
But
you
now
have
the
to do
one
this.
It's clickbait.
Yeah,
the one issue too, some people had the lady that works at IGN.
yeah, but that's
The day
somebody
before
completely
reviews
different.
went live, she posted a review and jokingly she goes, "This is my review before I even play the game."
Yeah, that's an
So-
idiot.
So
That's-
some people took that as a precursor
Right.
to his review because they sounded a little similar.
Right, but both of those people.
So-
I mean, if you're going to take that and you're gonna listen to that kind of stuff, one, you're stupid. Two, she's stupid. I mean, that's both. I mean, what are you going to do?
Oh yeah.
You've got two, forces that are coming together that are both, basically ignorance and stupidity just butting their heads. And like, you don't listen to that kind of stuff. That's the key. Like, you want somebody who's played the game for 100 hours. I've talked to Travis and he's given me, he's got 200 hours in the game and he loves it and they recommended it, and that's another thing. You get a 7, everybody thinks it's a C. Everybody's so focused on this educational system, grading system. I don't understand it, because that's out of 10. It's not out of we're at the point now where like 1 through 7 is trash. 8, 9, and 10 are what you have to get to.
Nowadays it has to be a 9
Right,
because
and-
Starfield's 87 and everybody's saying, "See, I told you it wasn't good."
And I will say, I think this year has also not been kind to any game. Like, if you aren't in the 90s, it almost seems like you're pathetic because there's been how many 90s this year? And
There's
I think
so
that
many good
could have been
games.
what it is. I don't know, but I also think, it's just, I don't know. Again, I don't think the scores actually
They don't
freaking
matter.
matter for any reason, but we have them because that's our only way to quickly judge a game, and that's
That's it.
that's all it is. It's a quick
And what
judge.
really gets high ratings from these guys are Nintendo games.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them, they rate Nintendo games with superior ratings. And that's really about it. I mean, if we listen to these reviewers, we'd all be playing fucking Nintendo games 24/7. That's
Right,
what
but
most of them
what
play.
What did it land on? Is it still at like 88 or
80
89?
It's 87 on Xbox, 88 on
88 PC.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, technically
so
that's a
good.
really good game. I mean,
If you want the
Halo
real
Infinite
score,
hit-
it's 87.9 on
Okay.
OpenCritic.
Then let's do
The
this. Let's
real
take out
score.
GameStop and let's take out IGN. What do you think that number drops to? 87 or 88? It literally does nothing.
Yeah,
The average is
exactly.
not going to go down with
Nope.
those two numbers.
No, because
Right?
you
It
have
won't go up either.
50s, you have a couple of 50s, 60s, and
No.
then you have the mixture of 80s. So I think that's the whole reason why I don't understand why you need to redo this score. There's no point. Like, again, even if they even thought about it, it's just it doesn't make sense. Like these people just I don't know. These people just suck. That's all. That's
Now
all.
watch. Spider-Man 2 comes out when? Next month?
Oh, I'm not even,
Mhm.
I'm not even looking
Okay.
forward to it at this point.
All right. Now, when Spider-Man comes out, if it doesn't get good reviews, if the PlayStation community goes after the reviewers, then some of the Xbox guys that were hounding this guy down
Yeah.
will be making fun of the PlayStation guys.
Of course they are because that's
Giving
just
him a
what
hard
they-
time.
There's no
That's what they
if
do
about
because-
it. It's exactly what's going to happen. You can just take
No,
the
100%.
narrative or whatever you want to say. You can flip it 180, and it's
Yep.
going to be the exact same thing in a month and a half.
Yep.
And it's just
Well,
like
But that was
people are
one
like,
of the things,
"Oh man, I can't believe you went back and
but that was one
took
of
a
the things-
receipt of this." And it's like when you say dumb shit all the time, it's not hard to take receipts.
Yeah, but that was one of the things that they came back at him because people were taking receipts. He gave Starfield flack because it was exclusive to Xbox, right? And then they gave him flack about that because he didn't say anything about Final Fantasy. That it was good that it was behind the the closed door, or the
Exclusive.
exclusivity on PlayStation. So again, being a hypocrite. But his being a hypocrite is clickbait, obviously, because look at all that's going on. We're talking about it. He's getting publicity over it. He's and that's the whole thing. Unfortunately, when you have stuff like this, clickbait's not a big deal as long as you deliver on it. But when you're doing this just like any other clickbait YouTuber to get attention, but you're not delivering on the attention. You're just getting it to get the eyes and the clicks and to get the money. That's all it's about. That's all it's for. They're a business, so they're gonna find ways to get your eyes drawn to that, and to have that girl talk about shit that she doesn't even know about and automatically prejudge it. Having Dan doing the same thing, it is what it is. Not our Dan here, the other Dan.
Yeah, that was a fun thing. The whole day today was just like Dan. I'm like, gosh, I know they got that for sure.
It's your fault because you're sharing the same name.
Not me. I gave.
How about hearing Let's Go Brandon for the last 3 years?
Oh, thanks for bringing that back. I mean, it finally died off this past 2 months.
When did it die off?
I haven't heard it die off.
I haven't heard in a while.
You're in Florida, dude. I haven't heard it die off either.
But I will say it. At least Dan, when he was up there and he gave his 7 and everything he had to say about the game, at least he didn't complain that he couldn't land on Gas Giants.
Oh Jesus!
now Scrub's bringing me to the next Twitter topic, and I've got to address this one because if not, I'm going to hate myself in the morning. I have been on several podcasts with King Thrash.
Yes, sir.
I've been on a couple with him. I try not to speak negatively about anybody, but let me tell you, the last podcast I was on with this dude, I told the host of the show I was leaving because the fucker was giving me a headache. And I have been to war, people. I jumped out of planes for a living. I was shot at behind enemy lines. That never gave me a headache. It gave me a hard on. This fucker gave me a headache. He would just sit and scream.
I'm glad he didn't give you a hard on though.
He would just sit and scream into his microphone. If you talked about anything that he didn't want to hear, he would just scream. Mm-hmm. My grandfather taught me years ago, the loudest person in the room is usually the dumbest because they don't have anything smart to say. They just try to be loud.
A hit dog gonna holler.
And yeah, exactly. And I left the shows I was on with him. But to take what he said, right, about Gas Giants, most of us learned that shit in like the 2nd and 3rd grade in school. My post a couple of days ago about going to the sun at nighttime was kind of a poke at him a little bit. But to sit and say when they wrote an article about him was racist.
That was
okay. Number one,
that was also pretty stupid.
I don't care what nationality, what color, sexual orientation, anything you are. We all can be stupid. There's not one race of person that's stupid. Okay.
And first of all, the headline of it just said he was a freaking idiot. That's all it was. Just stupid. Like, why did you think
when you make completely illogical comments 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, eventually somebody is going to pick at you. If somebody picks back at you, does not mean they're being racist towards you. And most people probably doesn't even know King Thrash don't even know anything about the dude. He's an avatar. That's it.
And the crazy part is he wasn't even the one that said that, said, oh, they're being racist. It was somebody else. It was like somebody else.
Yeah, it was Jay Barry.
Yeah.
And the bad part, I'm gonna say this. I've been on podcasts with Jay Barry. And I have actually had a really good conversation with the dude. I really had a lot of respect for Jay Barry. You know, I've done a couple of Moochie shows with Jay. You know, we did the Last of Us thing with him, the TV show and all that stuff. I really like Jay Barry. But that comment the other day about the whole racial issue over this just lost me, dude. I'm sorry.
That's just
I
stupid.
just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, there was no point to even say it because there was nothing that pointed towards that at all anyway, so it didn't freaking matter. It's
No.
just you make a stupid comment and you try to make it true even through all the comments. Like everybody be like, and it's like the only thing you had to go back on was it's a video game. You should be able to do it then, right? Because if
So
you have
this is a
monsters
fake
and aliens
game.
and stuff, I'm like, yeah, but at least I mean, there's going to be some real things to it. Then I know somebody brought up something. I know it's something to do with like jetpacks. And he said that, like jetpacks are
Yeah.
not real, and then somebody said, yeah, they are.
Yeah,
And
they
so I don't
are.
know. It's just overall that whole entire thread was just. It was hilarious, honestly. Personally, I just find it funny. I find it hilarious that somebody tweets something, and of course, it gets a lot of, apparently a lot of hits. But then, like, so many people call you stupid, and so many people defending you, and then you have
Mhm.
outlets trashing you, and it's hilarious. I'm like, look, you're in the spotlight now. I hope you like it because you're gonna get that regardless. I mean, you're gonna get the good and bad, but in this regard, there shouldn't have been anybody that defended it, to be perfectly honest.
Well, they're
I mean-
defending is Gas Giant because they have space stations in Star Wars that's on Bespin Bespin, and it's like, okay, well,
That's not real, Yeah. Mhm.
one, that's not real. Two,
Mhm.
there's a space station. If they had a space station on that planet, then there would be somewhere to land. But they don't have a space station on there.
Wait a minute.
And you're not going to land
But
on
also-
planets.
But also,
Are
the,
you-
whole, the whole concept of landing, you know why it's called landing?
Yes,
'Cause there's
exactly.
land.
You
Land.
have land where you do
There's
land on.
Terra firma.
Are you telling me Star Wars wasn't filmed on Earth?
Oh, shit. Actually,
Oh,
it was.
But it was a long time ago.
in a galaxy far,
Don't
far
say it.
away?
Not the
far,
moon
far
landing?
away.
But like, it's just funny. Like, I get it. I get the whole sentiment of like, it's a video game. They should let you do a lot of things. Like, well, that wasn't their vision of when they had gas planets out there. They didn't want you to go through them. Shit, somebody just posted a video of them trying to find Pluto. I don't know if it's actually labeled as Pluto. I don't know. But somebody was saying it's
You
Pluto.
can't land on ice
And
planets
you
either.
can't. It just, she went through it. I guess it was like invisible. I'm like, okay, they didn't want you to land on that planet. They only said they had hundreds, and there's apparently
It
thousands
says it
of
in
them.
the
So
game.
you
It
have
literally
10%
says
that
it
you
in
can
the
actually
game.
go on. So there you go. Have fun.
It literally
Like,
says in the game you cannot land on gas planets or ice planets.
that's
it literally
just
says
that's
it in the game.
ridiculous. Okay, because
One, that's number one. And two,
What if I
let
need
me
some ice for my sweet tea?
exactly. Let me retract what I said earlier. I said that he was mad that you couldn't land. There was a lot of people saying he never said you couldn't land. He just wanted to explore a gas giant.
Well, you gotta have a way to get there.
No, they were saying, well, at least you can fly around the planet through the gas and not land and explore that way.
Well, the reason why he couldn't land was
What are you
that
exploring?
gas giant was busy volcanoing. That's what it was.
I mean, maybe I guess you could get out of your ship and
And
float
die.
around and gather the gas that's in the planet. I don't know. Like, I guess because I mean,
That's some Kim
Like
Jong Un shit
Spider-Man.
right there, isn't it?
well, because I mean, technically, one of the first planet you land on, just in the very beginning of the game, you do that. You land, and there's these things that have heat or whatever in them, and you're extracting that type of gas. So, I mean, I guess, but then you're also landing. So it's
You're trying
I
to
don't know.
explain too much.
I
Vaughn.
know,
You're trying to
exactly. That's the
explain
whole
too
point.
much
That's why it's
to
hilarious.
people who are not smart.
And that's why it's
So-
hilarious that that's even a
The
Now,
real
don't say
thing
he's not
about it,
smart, Scrub. That's racist.
The
No,
actual
we're
I
being
said
racist.
that's not smart. I didn't say he was not smart. And no, I was not brought on the show today to cover for the white people as a black person, to go against King Thrash or anybody
To
else who
cover
said
for the
anything
white people.
idiotic. But I am covering for science and intelligence. So
Intelligence.
so some of this stuff, yeah,
Oh.
it's a good argument if you have nothing else to argue and you have sycophants who will agree with everything you say. And this is what this situation is. That's all it is. For that many people, thousands and hundreds of retweets and arguments in that thread for it. Obviously, you're only arguing because you want your side to win, because there should be no argument in this situation. One, the game said you can't do it, and then two, to wonder why.
You know
There
why?
was somebody I
know
even
why?
watched. Oh no, it's Alex. The
Oh,
guy
okay.
was saying that. Oh no, it's Alex is dumb because he just wanted to explore. They have sent satellites to gas giants before, and they said, but they never came back because they were destroyed. That's why you can't. That's why you can't travel in there, because if you send it in, it's not coming back. But whatever.
No,
Go ahead,
no.
Trent.
You know why?
Yeah.
No, I don't know why. That's why I don't know why.
Because
Oh,
Ridiculous.
this is why. Because if Xbox didn't buy them, and Jim Ryan would have closed out the deal, and it would have been a PlayStation exclusive, the only reason why would have been because the SSD can do that. It would have been possible because of the
The power of the
SSD.
SSD. You're right.
Yes,
You're right.
that's why.
it still needs 60 frames, in my personal opinion. Boom, I'll say.
That's why the original Spider-Man and God of
Creative
War
decision,
and
Bomber.
Horizon Zero
Creative
Dawn
decision,
was
my
on
Creative.
PS4.
Decision.
Did you
Okay.
see that they posted something about 60 frames performance mode on PlayStation, and it's only running like at 28 dips for
It's just ridiculous.
Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, that just the whole comment thing with Jay Barry just kind of blew me away.
Yeah.
But
Are
like
you
I said,
smarter
man,
than
I
a
had
fifth grader?
a lot of respect for Jay. Like I said, I've done a couple of shows with him. That kind of hit me from the side there. I was like, whoa. So yeah. So it's been an interesting week involving this game.
It really has.
truly has.
And it's
I'm
hilarious.
wondering what's gonna be the focus tomorrow, because every day it's
This
been a different
game.
topic.
It's still
This
going to
game's
be.
gonna be
still gonna be
around
Starfield
for
No, I
They've-
know it's gonna be
months.
they've
Starfield, but I'm gonna be
complained-
what part of it is gonna be the topic for tomorrow, because it's been a different thing.
60
every day
frames.
so far.
Yeah.
I'll-
Well,
Tomorrow,
they-
I'll
tomorrow
go ahead
I'm
and push it.
waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to find a Nazi colony on the planet tomorrow. That's gonna be what's next.
Yeah,
In the
probably
meantime,
so.
it's a Hindu symbol instead, but they'll address it as a Nazi symbol. No, but
Jesus.
I don't know.
the
dude,
other
it's
thing was
weird.
they were complaining that there's so many bugs for the life forms and all these. And I'm like, okay, did you not know how many bugs are on this planet? This planet is overrun by bugs. There are more bugs here than any other mammalian or reptilian animals or aquatic. There are ants and bugs and roaches and all that stuff. There's more.
Oh, you're talking about insects.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just thought
bugs,
you meant
insects.
Bethesda's
Yeah, I thought we were
quality
talking about
control.
something
I literally thought you were talking about.
Oh no,
Bethesda.
not those kind of bugs. There was very. I had to sit there and nitpick
Yeah,
one thing that was like a bug because it had some jitters, but it wasn't
I
there.
really
Yeah,
didn't have any
I've had just a
bugs.
few things and then one crash, so that's it so far for
I
me.
had no
but-
crashes. Just pop in, but
No.
Oh yeah, definitely
know
pop in. No,
Toby
I think that's
had
just,
pop in.
that's just an Xbox thing.
yeah,
Tubby
a
had
lot
at
of
least
pop in.
14 that I saw as of this morning.
Yeah,
14
no,
crashes.
Tubby said 21.
21 now. Okay.
Yeah, he's up to 21.
I think every game. I think every game Tubby
21?
plays has crashes.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
the
same
only,
thing with
he
Diablo.
said Diablo never had issues. He said this and Cyberpunk have been the two worst games that he's had for.
I gotta ask.
crashes.
I'm sorry, Tubby. Are you playing on an Xbox Series X or a One X? Because if it's on One X, it's always
Series.
gonna crash.
It's a Series X.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I feel bad for him though.
No,
You know,
freaking
they have that
sucks.
many crashes. It sucks, man.
21?
He does like the game though. He said
I'm
he
not-
liked
I've
it when
been
he gets to
lucky.
play it.
I'd be scared it's gonna cook my console if it crashes.
Well,
Yeah,
look
mine-
at what happened. With
Mine
me
just
with-
crashed to the
Callisto
dashboard.
Protocol.
is all it did.
Yeah, well, look at what happened with me with Callisto Protocol. I've yet to finish the game. I finally got past the part that I kept on crashing because I've had like, I don't know, at least 100 times that I've been like trying to get past this part, and finally one of these updates allowed me to get past it. But I played a little bit more, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm just done. And again, at least he's enjoying what he's able to play.
No, for sure.
But at some point in time, he's going to be done with it too if it doesn't get fixed. And it's weird that other people don't have problems. Cyberpunk 2077, right? I was playing on the OG Xbox and didn't have any issues. All this
That's crazy.
loading
That's rare.
stuff, and it was on
Yeah.
the actual hard drive because I did hard drive. I did the NVMe USB to it, so that way I would see. Okay, I could see that there was a difference in loading, but the faces wasn't just a blob. It wasn't just a blank slate. It was there, and it was on the actual OG hard drive that came with the OG Xbox One. You know what I mean? I didn't have those issues, and I saw issues that people were like pushing out. And again, this is the other thing. A lot of people like to fabricate stuff. A lot of people like to kind of make it more than it actually is. So who's to say that, maybe there are more people having issues, or maybe there's less people having issues. We've already talked about the smaller population are the loudest, so it makes it seem like there's more issues than there really is. So we really will never know. So I just hope this gets fixed out for people like Tubby that are having issues.
Did you see
Yeah,
that
I know.
video where one of the enemies like had a jetpack like explode and they went up into the ceiling and they just stuck there with their head clipped through the wall?
That's amazing.
That's
great.
great. That's perfect.
That
That-
was
that-
awesome.
Funny to me, that's funny. That's not game breaking. I mean,
They
yeah,
did-
I didn't
Xbox
say it was
definitely-
game
hey,
breaking.
look,
It was funny.
Xbox definitely helped them with that, because if you look at Halo, that's what happens with your character. If you get blown up in the game, you
Yeah.
get stuck in the wall. It's
at
screwed.
least
It
you're
was
not.
funny.
At least you're not falling through the floor.
Right,
Oh,
right.
I,
You know-
I did. The one glitch I had was when jumping up on these rocks, trying to get on top of this like little station or whatever. I kept falling through the rocks that were there, so that was a little upsetting. Like, it didn't go through like the whole map. It was just I'd jump up there, it would glitch out, and then drop me back down to where I was. I was like, oh, I guess they don't.
Well, see, that's an improvement because a few years ago you'd have fell through the map.
That's true. It's an improvement, I guess. I mean,
Mhm.
it's.
Even Mario 64, you had to glitch and fall through the map to get that last coin or star or what? Yeah, it was the coin.
But
Yeah.
there's
Moving on.
yeah.
Um,
Starfield. Oh.
Well, I've got about 8 hours into it so far.
Nice.
Now, I will say, the beginning of the game, once I got past the whole pronoun rage that I didn't have,
So like 8 seconds.
yeah, it wasn't even that long. A lot of people spend hours in the creation of your character. I spent like 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, blue-eyed, gray hair, boom, that's me. Okay, good enough. But I started the game, and at first, it is a lot. There is a lot there to overwhelm the shit out of you.
Yes.
And it does, I will admit, it takes a little bit of time to figure everything out, because this game does not hold your hand at all.
Yeah.
But I will
There is-
tell you something.
Especially
They-
switching
in
guns.
In the settings menu, if you don't know, there's a spot that says help.
Yeah.
And it will explain everything. But if you don't know it's there, you will struggle on a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, because it's easy to over encumber yourself when you're
Mhm.
picking up shit.
Yeah, and you can't.
if
You
you
can't
go
fast
to the
travel if
menu-
you do that.
Oh, I hate that.
Well, if you
mechanic.
go to your menu
Hate
and
that
go to your
mechanic.
ship, you go to your ship in your pause menu, you can basically move stuff over to your ship cargo from anywhere you are.
Yes.
I learned that yesterday. That's a
That's
huge
realistic.
lifesaver. A very
Saves
huge
a lot of
lifesaver, because
time.
I did not know that's how you checked your ship's cargo.
I still find
But-
it dumb that you can't fast travel to your ship because you are carrying too much stuff. Like, come on.
Well,
It's just fast travel.
you're too heavy, dude.
It's not like
come on,
I'm,
they gotta throw
it's not like
something in
I'm
there.
teleporting. I mean, I'm
Fast
fast
It's
travel
a
for a
traveling.
fat
reason.
tax.
Jesus.
The
Call it a
technology
fat
is not
tax, dude, just
available.
like your insurance company does you, right?
Drop the
But
10 dozen sandwiches that you hoard.
yeah, drop the turkey and Swiss and just get your move on.
If that stupid little robot would, like, if he tells me one more freaking time that, hey, by the way, I can carry some shit for you, I know that. Shut up. Like, I'll give it to you in a minute. But, like, God, and he gets, oh my God, he's always in the way when you're trying to go up a ladder. He's like, right
I don't
there.
send them with me.
Now, the only problem I really had with the game, once I started to learn how everything worked, is the fast traveling to missions.
Oh, geez.
Because evidently You have to travel to your ship.
Yes.
You have to be in the ship to do this. And I was running around the first city was Atlantis, or whatever
Atlantis,
it's called,
yeah.
New Atlantis. I kept running around going, why is it when I try to travel to this location, it keeps taking me back to my fucking ship? But then I figured out after about 30 minutes, because I do learn occasionally. I'm not like some people. I don't stay at it for hours, that you have to go to the ship to travel. But that's my only real issue with it so far. I've not had any crashes or any weirdness or any glitches, but the fact that, you do have to go back and forth to the ship. Although I will say I took the trait for most wanted or the criminal.
Yes, I got
The
that
first
one too.
the first
Mhm.
planet I landed on, dude, I had bounty hunters coming for my ass.
Same.
I thought it
still
was
hadn't had
hilarious.
one. I'm 18
I-
hours in, and I hadn't had one come for me yet.
The very first time my ship landed, dude, after the initial scene,
Yep. Same.
I was at a radio tower or something. And
Scrubby,
these
you
dudes
try
just-
harder, buddy.
They pop up out of nowhere and say, "Hey," they start talking to each other. Go, how much was that bounty? Oh shit! And here I am with a gun that does like 2 damage. And they were after me, man. Luckily, the robot was with me and he helped me kill him.
Yeah,
But I've had them
Vasco
pop up 3 other times.
is a murder bot. He don't play.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, he don't play around.
He definitely kills everything. It's great.
Oh yeah, he does not play around. But once you get that straight, and I've learned there are no real maps. You have to go with the little map in your corner or the surface
Mhm.
map. As far as actual maps, like most people are used to, I don't think they're in the game.
Yeah.
But once you learn the
Mini-map,
system,
no. Mm-mm.
yeah, and the setup and the scanning, you can open your scanner, and it'll show you points of interest.
And it gives
Once
the
you learn to
arrow,
do all
too.
that, yeah.
Mhm.
And once you learn to do all that, it gets a little easier to get into. Because once I got a few missions behind me. I joined the Vanguard or whatever it's called. Once you get a few missions behind you, then it starts to, you get a little more used to it. Then it's not so bad. But there is a lot to this game.
But this is also based on Bethesda's nature with all their
Oh, yeah.
games. It's not really a shock that this is how they do it.
Oh,
And-
no,
and
it's
I-
not a shock to me at all.
No, but for some people it is. I mean, even today with Good Morning Xbox, Cool Cat Terry was like, I don't like the fact that it's doing the same thing that the last games do. And it's like, well, of course it's not doing exactly the same thing, but this is their formula. I
Right.
mean, it is what it is. She's yet to play it, but she, with the whole Dan Stapleton comments were it was great in Skyrim and it was great in Fallout, but here it's not great. And it's like, okay, well, it's the same thing, but she's like, I don't want to play the same game. And it's like, okay, well, you're not playing the same game. And he even said, this is Skyrim in space, so
Exactly.
this is their
Right.
formula. I try to use the band analogy that a lot of people always want the band to sound the same, but you got to progress. But when you progress too far, it's like Korn. You don't expect Korn to be singing reggaeton, do you? No, you expect Korn to sound like Korn. And each time they're sounding, they adjust their sound. So each album is different enough. It's, this is in space.
So you want Korn and not AC/DC. Still sounds the same after all these years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Every song was exactly the same.
Yep. Same drum beat in almost every song.
Yep. Same guitar riffs. If you don't believe me, go listen to them. But anyway.
Still good music though. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but it's their nature. It's their formula, is it not? I mean, we look at
Exactly.
REM, right? REM had 2 songs. I mean, twice it happened, right? 2 songs, like from 10 years and 20 years prior, that came out more recently, which was obviously a couple years ago now, probably like good 5 years ago. But they were identical, rhythm, pacing. You could have just overlaid the vocals over the old song, and it literally was identical, even where the pauses were and the breaks. And
I didn't know REM was still a thing.
well, again, because of that, they kind of had their fallout. But again, this is what happens. You're gonna do it eventually. I mean, even Metallica, Lars even forgot their own fucking riff in Metallica. He's like, "Oh, play that again. That's great. We should use that." And it's like, it's already in one of your most popular songs. It is what it is. But this is Bethesda's formula. And if
Lars
had a
is the
problem
drummer,
with it
right?
before- Yes, Lars is
Yes.
the drummer.
Uh-huh. Lars Ulrich. Napster and all that fun stuff back in the day,
Yeah.
kids.
But
Yeah.
if this is the formula, and you love the formula, why are you hating on it now? You see, and that's the thing is people forget that this is the formula. Just like Baldur's Gate, people are going into it, and people are loving it, right? But there are people going into it hating it because it's not what they thought it was. They didn't realize how hard this game is because of the mechanics of the game,
I only died once so far.
and that's good. That's really good.
And you've only played 15 minutes. That's impressive.
And
I
didn't
haven't
fuck
fucked
a
anybody
bear.
yet either. Jesus.
Ah,
Everything
no
that I've
druids, man.
that I've heard is mostly it's the onboarding stuff, right? And I mean, Stapleton calls that out. Travis said the same thing. It's the inventory management. It's some of the fast travel choices. It's stuff like having to use a skill point to have a scanner as opposed to just table
Having
stakes.
a scanner.
Right, like having a scanner or a jetpack for that matter, instead of having to pay for it. And so they from based on that, this, and again, I've not played. This is what they've said. They feel like those skill points could have went into a more helpful location where it would open up different aspects. And this is again, I'm not saying that this is right or wrong, but that is what they were saying as far as like you have to put 4 skill points into like the ship upgrading part before you can even get like certain things. I'm not 100% sure, or like.
So, but that's valid. Those criticisms are valid.
But that's what he says in his review. That's mostly what he gave for, those were basically as hard. This is why I gave it a 7.
But what I will push back on that though,
his review was totally invalid. I do disagree with certain things, but he had a lot of valid points. I'm not just trashing the whole review because he said 7. I'm trashing his character because he's a fucking hypocrite. But again, everybody can change their mind. Everybody can change their opinion based on the information they get. So I'm not really trashing his character. I'm just playing. But
the longer I played the game, if they would give out, like you were saying, you have to use one of your skill points to unlock this or unlock that, you would unlock stuff too fast. And this game, from what I played so far, is not a game that, all right, I played 30, 40 hours, I'm done. Unless you just go straight through the story or whatever. So if you'll turn into God mode way too quick to me, what I played so far, if you didn't have that in there. And to me, also doing that makes you really have to think and go, do I really want to do this mechanic? Is this really how I want to do my playthrough and stuff like that? So yes, it is annoying, but I think it also helps to prolong the game, especially if they got the game plus and all that other stuff in there. I don't think that is that much of a big deal, but yes, it is in there.
I wonder what the highest. What's the level cap?
No idea.
I don't know. Right now, I'm at I think 9.
Okay. Well, here you go. Let's look at this one. Skyrim. 19,503 hours on record for one playthrough. That's the longest playthrough on Skyrim. And they're trying to do the same thing to give you a plethora of endless hours to keep on playing. They want to do Skyrim on steroids. So, and I agree with Scrub Nurse here, where you can't become a god within the first 20 hours. This isn't a one and done. This is a long burn, which is why a lot of time, because I even said, first 6 hours to kind of figure out the mechanics, and there people are like, well, it takes you at least 20 hours before you get into the meat of the game and it starts. And I'm like, again, it's a Bethesda.
And it's your play style too. I can see you going 40 hours and not getting the meat of the story because you're doing every side mission and exploring everything else. It's just how you play.
There's tons.
This game is set up for how you play, whatever way.
I think you guys see it that way. I think a lot of people will see that as artificially extending that game, where it becomes I mean, ideally, if you were to make a game, just whatever game, you want to get people in as fast as possible and give them and get that hook in them. And this again, I'm going to keep having to preface this. I don't know. I have no idea. Never played it. But as somebody who's played several games, played several Bethesda games, where I have stopped playing because I'm like, man, this is a crawl. And you gotta when people come up to me and say, well, you gotta play 20 hours just to get the ball rolling. That's crazy.
I hate when people say that.
no,
I
Oh,
hate
that's
that.
the worst.
I hate
I
that.
mean, I don't need. I want to get into. I mean, give me something, right? Like, don't
yeah, it needs that
artificially
balance.
extend. Like, oh, it's a 100-hour game. Yeah, but the first 20 hours could have been probably shortened by considerably when you just throw a jetpack on your thing instead of having and you can put the skill points somewhere else. Like, don't artificially create a longer game through skills. For me, that would drive me crazy. That being said,
for
I
the
understand other
skills
people's
though.
playthrough
Mhm.
styles are completely different. So I get that as well. But I think that's what most of the critics have said, and that's one of their biggest problems.
Yeah,
Like the onboarding parts, it's got to be better for me.
And I agree. It's got to, even if it's a slow burn at the beginning, it's got to keep you interested. If it doesn't keep
Right.
you interested, that you're going to go out. There's
Mhm.
been plenty of people that have said, this is boring. I'm returning the game already. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not flipping out at them going, oh, no, you got to stick around. And I understand some people are trying to be passionate and enthusiastic and trying to help you get past it. But if you're not going to get past it, there's no point in
And it may
trying
just
to
not be a game for you. It's kind of like me. It's
Exactly.
like I'm
100%.
literally on the fence of like, do I want to keep playing it? Like it's just not fun right now. Like it's okay to me, and that's just me. Yeah, I'm at the pretty much at the beginning, and it is what it is. But I mean, if it's not grabbing me, it's not going to grab me, and that's where I'm having a little issue with it. But I'm gonna keep trying to play it and just see
The
if it
first
ends
5
up being
hours.
something.
The first
But-
5 hours didn't really grab into me much either.
And
After I did a
that's-
few missions, then it started, kind of getting a little better.
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping something just like turns because like
I think something
because
will.
like the combat so far I've just not been happy with. It's just that 30 frames. I'm sorry. I mean, I know I'll keep going back to that, but
Yeah, I'm with you,
shooting
man.
and moving around in 30 frames sucks so bad. Like it's so bad. It's
What's funny
not
is
fun.
I can feel it on this game, the 30
Oh, you
frames
can
with the shooting
easily
mechanic. I
feel
can
it.
feel
You can
it.
easily feel
And
it.
I
Like,
normally-
yeah.
melee
Normally it
shooting,
doesn't
everything.
bother me. Normally it's like I can cope with it and get past it and deal with it. But this one here, I'm like, okay, this is odd. I do feel it here.
Yeah,
But
when
again,
you come from 120 to 30, is a big difference.
yeah. See, that's another thing. Depending on the games that you play and the styles, it makes a big difference. But I don't see it, like some people are like, oh, it's unplayable, and it's like,
It's definitely not unplayable. It's just
No,
not. It's
no.
not as.
You're
It's
not.
definitely nowhere near as smooth, and it's not
Yeah.
as like I would say. It's not as fun combat wise. I will say that like 100%. That's all it is. It's just not fun combat wise when you're at 30 frames a second. Because I mean, you have terrible shots because of course everything's all just janky, and so that's the worst part about it so far to me. Other than that, I mean, the exploring so far has been all right. Dog fights are they're okay. They're not amazing, but
See,
it's
that's why
it's okay.
I ran through my character to create something that looks like me, just so I can do the initial playthrough to kind of get my feel for it, and then I'm going to start over and actually figure out how I want my character and actually spend more time on the character creation and get. I don't care about the he, she, him, her, whatever. I'm going to go past that. I'm going to put my name in there and then eventually start playing the game. But now that I'll have a better understanding of how I want to play the game, I haven't put in like 20 hours to say, okay, now that here's the meat and potato, I'm going to start over. I purposely, knowingly started the game so I can figure out how I want to play the game so I can create my character best, because I didn't even put any points into.
So you're gonna do a 30-hour tutorial, essentially, is what you're gonna do.
No. I've only put in a couple hours. So
There's
I'm
also YouTube.
yeah, but I still want to
YouTube
figure out
can
how I want
explain.
to play.
Oh yeah,
I just want these stupid
Explaining
companies,
is different.
like these amazing big ass companies, and I'm talking about 2K, definitely Bethesda, whoever makes any game that has customization options, make some good customization options. Because good God, like just I know in my case, the beard. Literally, you either have a scruffy looking terrible beard, or you have a long beard that you have the crazy turn mustache. I'm like,
You
but
look
I
like
don't want the
Dread End,
mustache.
right?
But like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't like there's no you have
The
no
beard-
changes of it. It's like I don't know, it's just so basic.
Maybe you should change your mustache, Bomber. Maybe that's the
But
No,
problem.
then
you can't change
you-
it. You
like-
can't.
No,
It's
you.
with the
Like
beard.
you.
Me?
Like,
no,
yeah, just
because
like,
I
yeah,
look
get that thing turned
retarded
up.
with that. I've already tried. No, I
I
tried
don't
growing
know.
it out. I said no.
I tried it too.
Like
My
old Raleigh
mustache doesn't
fingers.
want to do that.
Yeah, I can't do the Raleigh fingers thing. Just can't do it. And that's what I had to go with because it's the only beard that looked good because the other beard looked awful.
Oh, the rest of that.
And then the
The
hair looks terrible. It's like very basic, freaking like NBA 2K type hair. It's not good. And I get it, I guess, because 99% of the time you're gonna have a helmet on, so you're never gonna really see it anyway. And either you're in first person or third person, you never see your face unless you're in photo mode. So I get it, but I'm like, if you're gonna have it in there though, like Baldur's Gate has a very extensive.
Baldur's Gate
You
has
know,
3 options for
customization.
pubic hair. Okay,
See, exactly. So I mean, I'm just
per
saying,
gender.
like
So,
if
the
you
fact
do
that
create
Starfield
something
has
like
2
that, like
beards, that's
I mean,
kinda
shoot,
like-
Rockstar did a better job with it with freaking Red Dead Redemption. With
But you
having
got to
a beard.
remember too, though,
I don't know.
this game was not really made. This game was started long before this current gen of consoles too.
Well, of course, and that's why it looks the way it looks too. And that was the other thing I was going to go to is like, it's not like this.
Oh, now you defend that
What?
answer. I've said that before. That a lot of these games weren't made for this generation.
No.
They were made.
Well,
were
what I'm
made
saying, I
before
ain't
this
saying
generation
defending. I'm just
actually had-
saying that that's why the game doesn't look freaking amazing. Like it looks okay. Like it's nothing.
No, I know.
There's
I know. I'm just
nothing
saying
about it that
because when
is
I've
like
said it
super pretty.
before. I've said it before. Just like Cyberpunk, it was never made for this generation. It was made for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and unfortunately, PlayStation 5 and the Series X and S were brute forcing the game because the games just played horribly. You know, and granted, again, I didn't have that many issues with my OG one, but overall, the games played horribly to the point that they had to pull it off the PlayStation 4 store. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And now they've optimized it so that they're playable. And now with the expansion, they're like, screw the last gen. We're not even going to make it backwards compatible for last gen. We're not
Good.
even going to do that. Which is
good
fine.
anyway.
Exactly.
Which
It's
I
good.
was
But
happy
those
for
games
that.
were originally never designed and never knew what the intent was of this gen because they started so early in the process of last gen that they had no idea what this gen was going to be.
I'm just curious on
I'm just
because
curious about the state
because-
of
because this
Starfield
game-
last year when it was supposed to come out in November.
Yeah,
Right,
but there's
like-
going to be games now.
well, not even just that. Like my thing is that it's only a Series SX game. Like you can't play it on the other ones unless you're streaming it or whatever. So that doesn't like I'm not. You're not using the hardware to run the game. So, and it doesn't look. I don't know. Like it definitely doesn't look like a Series S and X game. It just it feels like a 1X game. Is exactly what it feels like. It doesn't. There's
What
nothing
kind,
that.
of, what kind of TV you playing on?
I mean, I'm using my 4K monitor. That makes.
Hmm.
I mean, every other game looks really good on it.
That's
Just
weird.
this one just does not look.
The Vizio
Honestly, it doesn't look
480p.
great. Like it doesn't. Like it. I guess it has its moments with like the ships and when you're out
You
in space.
turn off
but,
film
like,
grain.
Yeah, I turned off film
Definitely
grain.
turn off
Probably.
film grain.
I
Turn
turned
off
film grain
motion
off.
blur.
I had motion blur turned off. It still doesn't. It doesn't look great. Like it just. Again, granted, I know it's kind of like what Dread was saying. Is like that's their formula. It's going to look like Skyrim, and it's exactly what it is. Looks like Fallout, but in space, and that's I get it. I get that's their formula itself. But I just figured because they were only going for a certain hardware, which was the 2 new consoles and then whatever PCs, that you would have better textures, you would have better lighting, you would have reflections, you would have the stuff that would, is why you were putting it on these devices, and you don't. There's no reflections at all on anything, hardly at all. You have The lighting is it's not great. Like you don't even have shadows. Like that's what's crazy. Like you get in front of a light anywhere in a dungeon or like in a tunnel, you don't have
Yes.
your shadow show up
And
on the
that's-
wall, nothing like that. And I get it. I guess that's their design decision. But I mean, I don't. I just feel like it's just not. I don't know. It's definitely not a current gen made game in my opinion.
It might be. It also might be the fact that because I started so early, they couldn't add some of this stuff. But I also definitely agree with you that they could have added more of the tools. And maybe they just couldn't because it's such a big scope of a game.
I mean,
But I want to see
there's so much
more
loading too. So
more
I
of the
mean,
tools
everything
in there.
is
Yeah,
everything's
the loading.
confined. I mean,
Yeah.
that's another thing. You
When you're going
how
to
many
another
load
solar
screens?
system, do the warp drive thing like they do in Star Wars and Star Trek. Show it that and use that as your loading screen between solar systems. They didn't even do that. To make it look like you're going at warp speed or going.
Well, it
Well,
does
they
give
do
you
that if
it
you're
does-
in space already. If you're
yeah,
in
if you're in
space
space, it
already
gives you
and you
that
go,
little.
it gives
get
you
like
that. But if
yeah,
you're on
you
the
get that.
ground, it won't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
if
get that
but
that little
they-
cut scene of going to warp
Yeah.
speed, and that's cool. It's fine. Like that portion I don't
But
mind.
if
But
I'm
like
fast traveling from the ground, they
Well, not
should
even-
just pretend like you're in there. Don't kind of like.
well, the SSD is not fast enough.
No, yeah, that's right. That's right.
But no,
Hey,
but
I think this is it speaks more to the fact I still feel hornswoggled and let down by the PlayStation 5 and the Series X.
100%.
I feel like I bought it with all these promises, with these giant, 8K, 120 FPS.
Yep.
Of course, that's not
Blame
going to,
it on the
on the
devs.
box. They're on the box.
And we
And
get
it-
1080p,
And then next thing you know,
30
yeah,
frames.
Gotham Knights comes out. I'm like, what is this garbage? It's not like it's like pushing like graphical
Thank you.
fidelity,
Yep.
right? It's and then Plague Tale Innocence. I get Travis over here telling me it's RPS, rats per second. I'm like, I don't care about the rats. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but come on, man. Like, I get what they try to do with Starfield. I mean, that's fine. Again, I've only seen videos. I don't know why I keep saying that. I want to make sure everybody knows. Have not played it, but I start seeing stuff like Baldur's Gate 3. I played that. This is recommend not playing on a dock Steam Deck because I couldn't wait till the PlayStation version came out. And everybody else has got good PCs. All my kids do. I got nothing. So I played it on a dock Steam Deck for a month, and then I get the PlayStation 5 version. I'm like, wow, this is way better, but it still has issues. You get around like a big city or something, it doesn't stick at 60 FPS. Now in a much less crowded area, it's fine. I haven't had any problems with fidelity mode, but I don't play in fidelity mode because that's not why I bought these consoles. I bought them to get that 60 FPS.
Yeah, I'm
You
playing
know,
in performance.
but
as
that's
well.
the thing.
100%.
At least on the Xbox side, first party needs to utilize the tools that they're
100%.
providing. And if the
100%.
first party isn't doing that, then third party is not going to do that either. Why
Hence
use
why I
the
think
tools
the
if
whole-
you're
I
not
think
even using your
There
own
were no
tools?
tools, just
I'm
like
not-
everybody's been saying. And I know that was the fanboy pull, but guess what? It came out true that 100%. There's no tools. There was no tools to begin with. There's never been tools. It's just, guess what? It was harder to develop for. So guess what? So Xbox screwed up, made a device that was harder to develop for. So nobody wanted
But
to try to
DirectX is
utilize it, and that's where we're even
That's-
like you said, even their first party doesn't even want to try to utilize it because they can't.
but
they can't do
DirectX
it.
is a tool.
And what's that going to solve?
Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know anything about developing. I know older
Me,
gamers.
me either. And I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I do.
BG3 is a huge step up from Divinity. He is right. I mean, it looks way better. It looks amazing, actually. But my biggest issue now is, if you developed a game, like for example, or like Valhalla, I always go back to that. I reviewed that game for SG. I got the code like a couple weeks before the X came out, and then halfway through the review, the X came out. Got my X, started playing on there. I'm like, this is insane. This is crazy. Like that's the kind of like jump I wanted to see.
Mhm.
And so if you're developing for a last gen, and you've got it running at whatever it is that you want it to run, your choice of running it at 30 frames, then with more power and more, I mean, again, I'm not a developer, but you would think that you could run it a little bit better. You wouldn't have the pop in that people are talking about. Apparently,
Mhm.
I mean, I just thought I'm a little disappointed. With that being said, again, I played Baldur's Gate 3 for a month on a docked Steam Deck. and I will take 30 FPS smooth any time of the day because that thing was dropping like crazy. That was the worst decision I ever made because now I'm having a great time. It's so much better, even at whatever it's running at now. And the cross save thing, fantastic. Thank you, Variant Studios. You're amazing. But yeah, it's. I'm a little disappointed, but I think I can handle the 30. I just wish I didn't have to settle, I guess, for that kind of stuff. And it kind of worries me going forward when you've got another PlayStation coming out that's supposed to be more powerful. Like, why? I'm tired of buying these things. I'm tired of it. And you know,
See,
what is
that's kind of where I'm at, man. I'm tired of buying these things because
yeah,
there's nothing really different, and the games really don't differ either.
no,
Most of the games we get are all carbon copies of the ones that came out
what
before.
they keep saying though. It's like, oh, but we're doing this other stuff, you know, behind the scenes. Like, I don't give a crap what's running behind the scenes inside the console. I want to see the result on my screen, and maybe that's naive, and maybe that's
it's not
you know,
naive. That's what a consumer should be talking about. Like,
Yeah,
I should be able to experience a better experience,
The
not the
behind the
same
scenes,
as
yeah,
people that had an Xbox 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah,
that's
correct.
behind the
Correct.
scenes should be working so I have that good experience ahead of time. So you
Right.
don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That's fine, but it
I mean,
should.
like inside the console itself, like
Yeah,
what's going on, like
well,
what's
that's what I'm getting.
expensive
The
and
stuff
stuff.
that's inside the console is just a talking point of what its capabilities are. But the problem is they need to be able to do that, and you as a consumer not even think about what's in there, not
Right.
even think about what's going on, what's running, what isn't running, is
I
it
have
running
no
ray
idea.
tracing or not? You should just be awed with the graphics and the gameplay and the smoothness,
Right.
all of that together, and enjoy the story that the game has been presented with you. Your character or whatever the narration is, all that stuff should just be pleasurable to the eyes and to the feel of playing the game and enjoyment of the story. That's all you should really care about. And obviously we're a little bit more involved, so we do get into certain numbers and certain aspects and this and that, and there's always the elbow jabs between us, because we're friends. We do elbow jabs, but the rest of the community, they don't do elbow jabs. They do blindsided Hail Marys. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You're just throwing that ball and you're just freaking pummeling somebody out of nowhere because it's fun to troll. But here, we troll each other. It's an elbow jab. It's fun. SSD, the PlayStation SSD is far superior. It's same difference, different technology.
I don't know anything. I've heard people talk about bottlenecks and CPUs and GPUs. I have no fucking idea what they stand for. I don't know what that means.
Points because they're just trying to, be superior to the other one, and it's like whatever. In reality, we should be just talking about the game and how great it looks. And unfortunately, how.
Well, that's what we've been trying to do, but you keep going back to the same conversation.
But I think that's ultimately the issue, and it's kind of like what I was talking with Dan is like, it should look
right
a lot better, and it just doesn't. It looks again, if certain things, it's like, okay, cool, it looks better, but it's like it's definitely not a current gen looking game like what you would expect that these monsters or these really strong devices.
But there hasn't been a single game
No.
that's came out that looks current gen.
No, exactly. Nothing.
Nope. I mean, the only one, I mean, I think I said this before, maybe on the show, is for me that showed what the consoles could actually do a little bit was Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
And that was only because of how those portals and everything worked. But I mean, it still wasn't.
The one that can be played on PlayStation 4?
Not to like it, you can play it on the PlayStation 5.
It ain't.
I think that whole narrative was stupid too, because I mean, you listen, you can play it, of course you can, yes, but like for what they said and what they were trying to do, and to realize that what they wanted, I think that was, no, you couldn't do it
it's not capable of doing exactly what the PS5 is doing on the PS4, and that's what they were saying.
That's what.
But everybody's like, they're just like, oh, they just can't put it on
I
PS4.
can do it on a regular hard drive. That's fine. Then do it, and then see how great it is. It's not going to be as good.
Even the PCs are having issues. It still delays like 5 seconds or more before you
I think the only other game that really looks good is after Gorilla fixed performance mode. in
Definitely
Forbidden
after.
West.
because that was rough
After
at first.
after they
Oof.
fixed it,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
you run that in performance mode, and you're like, Jesus. Like,
Yeah, it looks
it
really
was
good.
amazing.
Now.
Yeah, but at first it was like, I still played it on that mode because 30 was just not happening. For
Yeah,
me.
I agree. I did too. It was just off.
But people
for
are
some
like, it's
reason.
unplayable. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Unplayable is you push a button and the game just fucking doesn't work.
Yes.
That's unplayable.
Yeah.
People
Like
throw
Star-
unplayable around. So
I know
often.
because everybody's like,
They throw that as
Starfield's
much around as
unplayable.
masterpice.
No.
Drives
Yeah,
me crazy.
That gets thrown around a lot.
I'm like,
too.
what? Everything's a masterpiece. Gee, Merry Christmas, guys. You guys had it kind of loses its cachet. after a while.
It definitely loses its
Luster.
Luster. Thank you. The word. Yes, it definitely loses its luster when everybody. This is a masterpiece. I'm like, do you realize what masterpiece means? It's something that could like you can't duplicate it. It's that good. Like it's that good of a whatever piece of
and,
art.
like, first off, it's 78 on OpenCritic. Okay, that's not a masterpiece.
Yeah,
Calm
it's just,
down.
like,
Settle down.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to say this about Starfield.
Do it.
I'm like Dan. I don't claim to be a developer,
No.
but my son is.
Yeah, okay. Good.
My son went to
Yeah.
college for 6 years to learn how to make fucking video games. He's got a
wait.
master's degree.
When he talks to you about it, do you just kind of sit there and nod? Because sometimes, my
Yeah,
son-
because I have no idea what the fuck.
right,
You're talking about.
I've been there too. Yeah, I know exactly.
But
what you're
now,
talking
when he comes to visit at Christmas or whenever he comes to visit, he tells me about things he's working on, who he's working for, and I've actually watched this kid sit down and try to create some of this stuff. For us to sit on a podcast and say, well, you know, they should be able to do this, 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 and this, that's easy for us to do. But until you are in one of these groups making these games, you don't realize how big of a pain in the ass it truly is. There's more going into all this than there is just, you know, walking across a planet going, oh my God, that rock is beautiful. It takes a lot to design just that one rock. It takes a lot to design. It takes a lot to design that path you're walking down. These people spend, dude, I watched my son spend fucking like 3 weeks to make like half a city block that did nothing. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't supposed to do anything, but we don't really know. And it is, and I've been on 100 different podcasts where dudes sit back and go, well, there's no reason. But you have to take into consideration how many people it takes to make games that look like this. If they made a game like everybody on the internet wanted it to look like, that game would never release.
It will never
Because
come
by-
out.
No,
Never.
Because by
Costs
the time,
$400.
because by the time it finally came out, the hardware couldn't keep up. And on top of that, you would have no physics whatsoever. Because everything in these games has to be physics based. Because everybody wants to sit back and go, you know, I want to be able to pull this off and carry it with me, or I want to be able to do this in the game, do that in the game. That all takes away from that texture creation. And everything drops down. It has to drop a small degree to facilitate those physics. That's the kicker to all of it.
That's
And
the
like I said-
bottleneck thing
and
that
that's,
I was
that's
saying.
the thing is, in layman's terms, you have a box and everything's got to fit in that box. If it doesn't fit, you have to figure out what you're going to take out to put something else in.
Right, you're gonna have to sacrifice something.
Yeah, something's got to be
right.
sacrificed.
And
Like
no
everybody
offense,
bitches, it's not raining, but nobody wants to sacrifice a virgin to get it. You know what I'm saying?
it's
but-
less for me about the devs and more about the hardware that it's on, I think. And I feel like we're sold like a false, you know,
We're
bag
still
of
in the
goods, right?
infancy of
Right.
using the hardware.
But it's 4 years, man. I mean, there at some point, you know, I understand a lot of this stuff goes into it, and I also understand that I don't understand what that is. But at the same time, I'm the end consumer, right? I just want, when you tell me this is going to do this, right? Then I would hope that you, at least as a company like Microsoft or PlayStation, were able to like take these, you know, at least go to these other studios and be like, hey, do you need help with this? And I know Microsoft's done that in the past. They did it with, with Larian, with talking, even just going and have a conversation like, hey, we can't get this running on the Series S. Microsoft sent a whole bunch of people over there to try to fix split screen on the S. But that kind of stuff, like more interactivity between, and that may happen a lot. I don't know. But I don't also care. And that's, and I think developers are crazy smart people. And I think developing games is ridiculously hard,
Look,
but at the end of the day, I want to sit on my couch. I want comfort, and I want, it's just easy access. That's why I have the console. That's why I don't game on PC, because I'm not smart enough to really figure everything out with BIOS and, doing all, I don't know, drivers and stuff like that. I just want it to work. I want a plug and play kind of thing. It's always been me, but that's been me since Atari, right? So it's always been the same. But I also respect the fact that they, they do a lot of good work. But I just, somebody tell me why. Like kind of say, okay, well, we sacrificed this to bring you this. Okay, that's a choice. That's your choice. I may not like the choice, but that's not my deal. I mean, it is what it is. I don't play the game or I play the game, right? I can make that decision based on that. Starfield being at 30 was disappointing, but it's not going to stop me from playing it for sure. Because I've been looking forward to it for a long time. And, I'm a fan of the Fallout game in Skyrim. I just haven't got it yet because I'm stuck in Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm even joking. I have like 250 hours. It's something disgusting in a month. So I'm kind of stuck in that right now, in that mode. And you've got so many other games coming out, with Cyberpunk and stuff. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it though eventually. You got Spider-Man, which I'm a humongous Spider-Man guy. That's the only kind of collectibles I have is Spider-Man stuff. And Hitman, but you won't go there. But that's always been my guy, And when I can already hear, like you were talking about, Wilmy, it's just, when that comes out, they're gonna be like, well, they use the same map. Well, it's New York City. I'm not sure how much they can change it.
That's already been used as an argument.
They're already using that right now.
And see,
you just improve upon it. That's all you can do. You can't.
That's
add
all you
more
can do.
To it. Just little nuances.
They did. They added Queens and Bronx.
Okay, but here's the other thing, Dan, is people forget back in the 16-bit it was megabytes, right? And you're talking about going to 360 to 3 to 6 gigs on the 360 and PS3 era, right? And now from the Xbox One era, we're at 120, and here we are in the series where these games are just still getting bigger. You're talking about gigs. It's 6 gigs going to 120 gigs. That's a huge jump. That's a huge amount of information that they have to process to create these games to make them look so good. And that's why a lot of it takes so much time. Like when we was talking about it, it takes forever to create a small rock. It takes forever, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't doubt it.
To make it malleable. For your character to be able to pick it up, touch it, and do something with it,
And see, if this game looked hyper realistic,
I would hate
you wouldn't have all the physics that are in it, and then people would be complaining, "Oh, well, I can't believe I'm not able to do this in the game. I'm not able to do that in the game."
I don't feel like
then
I'm
you
in
have
space.
that type of complaint. Exactly. Then I don't feel like I'm in space.
We can go away from hyper realism because I don't even need to. I don't need that. I mean, that's crazy.
You know what was the most hyper realistic physics element in any game I've ever played? The motherfucking extension cord in The Last of Us Part 2.
Shit.
Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
For
Yeah.
all the stupid
That
generators.
thing was, like, Jesus, man. Like, I saw some videos of someone just playing around with it, and the shit that this person actually did, and the fact that the cord physically made sense what it was doing. This person was like, it's a mad science.
Oh, where they throw it over the fence?
They throw it over the fence. They wrap it around chairs. They wrap it through the window,
chairs
and it acts like an extension cord would act.
Yeah, it does.
And that's the beauty of physics.
Like, holy.
But also,
I would hate to be the QA guy. Who's the extension cord QA guy? Must have had the worst fucking job.
But that
Wait a
also
minute, this drop cord is standing straight up. Who gave it Viagra?
But that also, gives, kudos to those developers as well, making, putting the time in and to make it that realistic, even though,
it's
we know the
such a,
game
a
isn't realistic, if that makes any
non-issue
sense, you know?
in the grand scheme of
You're
the
right,
game,
right.
But this extension cord just fucking works like it does. It's like,
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was,
it
a
was-
cool
it was
little thing,
crazy.
for sure.
And it was annoying, just like a real extension cord would have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, let's be honest. It's almost as
Try to
bad as
throw it
plugging
over the
those old RF, those
wrong
old
angle.
RF cables
Shit.
into your television.
I didn't
Barbed
make the part where it throws over long enough to be heavy enough to fly over, so I got to
And it
freaking
gets
roll
stuck
it
in
back.
the barbed
Yeah, it
wire
gets
on top of the
stuck.
fence.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it,
man, I'm never getting
stuff
that
like that's
now.
really cool, and
Reset.
you know,
But those nuances
I'm just
are
hoping
what
Starfield has fun.
makes it more realistic. That it's a great immersion factor, you know, and that's a cool thing when they can do stuff like that, you know. But it's having the time to do that. You got to think about how much time in programming, not just the look of it and the mechanics. You're talking about the physics, every little detail between weight, projection, you know, for where your character's standing, and you know the different objects that it has to interact with. So it's not just you trying to throw it up to a pre-programmed spot. You're just trying to do your projection. It has to interact with other stuff. You're talking about wrapping around a chair, wrapping around this, going here. That's a lot of work. That it's not just to sit down and, you know, here it is. We typed it out in 1 hour. You know,
Dan, I'm impressed. That actually looks like you, dude.
That was Sean Labrie.
It actually looks like you. That's crazy.
Yeah, we've all got one for SG. Me,
But you
Angel,
look
and
you look
Bert.
like you came off Cuphead.
Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, he gave us all like
Yeah.
little Cuphead things. We got one with like all three of us. That's when Bert was still on, way back in the day. So, yeah, that
Looks
yeah,
like
he
you
does-
though.
That, and he actually did this BioShock one too. That's on the screen. He did both of those. Dude's awesome, amazing, and he takes commissions sometimes. So maybe look for him on Twitter.
Oh,
Sean Labrie. I don't know.
he actually blocked me, I think.
Oh, yeah. I might have him.
I swear I think he did.
Yeah.
I talked to him one time about doing an intro for the show, and
That was it.
he never even got back
He
to
said
me.
that.
And next thing I know, he
Shut
disappeared.
up! Not doing anything. That's awesome.
So, but then again, our humor's not for everybody, and I get that. And it's okay.
Sure, I get it.
At the end of the day, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So, but the with all the slander aside, Starfield is actually a good time once you get into it. You learn
It
some of
is.
the tricks and the little nuances, as Drake keeps saying. This game is definitely not something you're going to play in 30 or 40 hours, unless maybe you just stick to the story.
No, right.
so
They're going to make shirts called Married, Single, or Starfield at some point. They used to make those for Skyrim. But
And I
I'm
put
telling you, dude.
6.7 hours worth of my life into Skyrim.
should
this
I have
game-
said at the end of the day?
this game, yeah, we were waiting on that one. But this game is massive. I mean, what I've played of it, it's just huge. And like I said, at first I wasn't into it until I got a couple of missions underway. Then it stuck into it. But Scrub, what was your experience with it?
Well, I have about 18 hours in. Right now, like I was saying, it all depends on how you play. I have 18 hours in, but I've had like, it even tells you if you go to your menu, I have like 7 side missions completed and like 2 main missions completed. So that kind of tells you how you can do with your time. It's easy to get trapped into, I'm going to this planet to do this, and then you get stopped or you see something cool and it pulls you on to do something else, which I like, even though I want to get to the story because there's a chance that I might get tired by some point. But right now I'm not at that point. I even through going through different maps and different areas, I got a thing that says, hey, secret base or whatever. And I couldn't get to it because my ship couldn't jump that far. So what I did was last night I specifically said, this is my job. I'm just going to hop from planet to planet. I'm not even going to land on the planet. I'm just going to hop from planet to planet till I can get close enough to that planet. I went and did this secret mission. It's actually kind of cool setup. And what I got from it was I got some, not armor, but I have a spacesuit, which is awesome. phenomenal spacesuit now that I am invisible now. If I don't move,
Yep.
I'm invisible. So I play like a cyber runner. So I have to work with a lot of stealth and lock picking. So that's perfect for me because if you played the game long enough, it is not easy to do a lot of stealth stuff because these people see you from miles away in the beginning of the game. But the more
That
you
they
get
do.
better, yeah, the better you get at it. Because I was like, I messed up. I picked stealth. I should have never done it. But now I've gotten better, got more stealth skills. I got this armor. This is going to be fun. And also, I got the spacesuit, which is way better than anything I have. I also got a ship, and the ship is way better than the start off ship you get. So I'm interested to see how the game goes. The fast traveling, because the game is so big, I think the fast traveling is kind of good for me. A person like me, I like it because I don't want to spend just riding around in space, throttling and going faster
Yep.
just to get to the next place. That helps me out. I'm liking that right now. So for the folks who are saying all the space jumping and quick travel time, for some people, they will like it.
Oh, I'm with you.
The
I'm
different
all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, there are going to be plenty of planets that you get on there and there's nothing there. That's fine. It's cool. There might be one little base. You might can do some farming, getting some minerals and keep rolling. That's good. It has something for everyone.
But
As far as the story,
grab materials so you can upgrade your suits.
So my
Yes,
final
yes.
score is yes, play it.
yes, this game to me, unless you're one of these people who had it 2 weeks, 3 weeks playing the game and you have whatever amount of 70, 80 hours, it's hard to put a score on this game. If you just got the game for 3 days like we have, the early announcement, and be able to put a score on it, I think you're just lying because there's so much stuff that you're missing on that
Yeah,
you won't be able.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even attempt to put a score on it.
But
Not
am
even
I
close.
enjoying it? Yeah. And would I recommend it? Hell yeah, I would recommend it. Me personally, I hadn't really had glitches other than I shot somebody, their pack blown up and they got stuck in the ceiling.
Now that suit you got, I got it from
Mhm.
the bounty hunters yesterday. The
Yeah,
bounty
yeah,
hunters that tried to kill me, I got it from them and I killed all them.
okay, then see, there's different suits like that. The one I got,
Yeah.
the Mantis. So it's a good little storyline and explains that. So I'm liking it. And you know me, like I say all the time, I'm not the biggest RPG person. I really don't play Bethesda RPG games because most of those games are time sucks, and it's gonna draw you in. And you're gonna play it forever. But right now, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Is it the best story that I've ever played ever? No. Is it a bad story? No. Like I said, I've done a lot of side missions. If I've done more story, I probably could tell you better about do I like the story, but I've done way more side missions and story stuff. So
But
it's
I did
definitely
steal a
worth a
ship.
try.
There was
I've
a
not
ship.
done that yet.
There was a ship landed not too far from mine on another planet.
Mhm.
And honestly, I was like, that doesn't look like my ship. So let's go on board. And took the guys out on the ship and wound up taking their ship. So that was kind of cool.
And if you take another ship, you still get to keep the ships that you already have. So that's a good
Oh
a good feeling.
So I
But I will
I
tell you,
sold their ship though.
well, that's a lot of money. I would do the same thing. I
I
will
sold
tell
it.
you if you're gonna do some dirt in this game, or you might have some certain morals that are scrupulous, I wouldn't bring my companions everywhere you go because they will rat on you, they will hate you, they will not do anything for you if they sit and listen to your talks. A lot of times, what I have done is I've either told them to stay in the ship, or I'll get to whatever bar or area I want to get to. And then I will, right outside the building, I'll say, wait here, go do whatever I need to do. Because there's some haggling. You will have to maybe hurt somebody or help somebody that's not a good person to get where you need to go. So
Yep.
if you don't do that, you'll have a hard time with some of your shipmates.
That's it. And on that note, we're going to give it a play this game. We're
Play
not going
this
to give it
game,
numbers.
yes.
Yeah,
Play the
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
That's all we can do. I mean, to be honest. and that's
And-
not, you know.
On that note, we're going to do the outros, get everybody out of here. So,
All right.
Dreadpool,
All right.
tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube, Linktree, Twitter, TikTok, Hoover. I'm not really doing Hoover anymore. But yeah, every Sunday nights here at Game Beyond the Box, 7 p.m. Breakfast Boom, 10 a.m. on Fridays, and then Good Morning Xbox, which I don't have the thing on the screen there, but that's fine. At 9 a.m., I'm a resident guest helping out, and I always forget. My apologies, but I'm not going to forget this time. Thanks, Dan, for coming out and hanging out with us. It's great to have you on here. It's always been a pleasure. I always forget to thank the guests. I don't know why. But again, we got to thank the chat for each and every one of you guys hanging out with us. Love your comments. And hopefully, Tubby, you get this thing straightened out in the next couple days, if not sooner. But again, thank you. Paniac, where can we find you?
You can find me here Sunday nights at 7 p.m. with all these fine gents. Dan, thanks for coming. Good to have you.
Yeah, thanks.
Might pick your brain for some Baldur's Gate shit.
And
If I get into it and be like, what the hell? Because this is my first Larian game too. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So I'm a noob, huge noob, but loving it and probably gonna go play it as soon as we sign off.
I am also doing that.
But yeah, and on Twitter, laughing at people who take games and scores way too seriously. Maybe not via a retweet, but just in real life, LOLing at these people. So yeah, there we go.
All right. And to our guests, thank you, Mr. Dan, for joining us once again. It's always great to have you.
Yeah, man.
And sir,
Anytime.
tell everybody where they can find you.
I am on the Season Gaming podcast.
I was getting ready to tell you in case you forgot.
Oh my god, yeah. 10 o'clock. No, it's wait a minute. Let's see, 10.
10 Central.
So it's 11. Yeah, it's 10 Central. That's where I'm at. So I don't know what the hell time is that. 11 Eastern on Sunday mornings. Come and check us out. It's me and Ains and Tie Guy Travis and Hoglaw. And well, we have some good discussions. It was a long podcast this morning. It was like 3 hours, maybe a little bit over that. Speaking about something that I had no idea because I haven't played it. But we got through it. We had a good time. I ate some peanuts during it. I got yelled at the very end. But you know what? I gotta eat. Every once in a while. 3 hours. I gotta get up and stretch. I gotta do stuff. It's too much time sitting on my butt. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm on Twitter too. D Rodriguez WDSC. I normally don't give that out, but you want to check it out, that's fine. I don't care. Mostly because I try to stay as low as possible. I'm not going to get that ad revenue from X, so not my goal. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It's been awesome. I'll talk about some Starfield, but more Baldur's Gate is in my future very shortly.
All right, Scrub. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at ScrubNurse3. Of course, here on Sundays, and then anything else as far as me doing any streaming, I'll be on twitch.com as Scrub_nurse. So appreciate everybody coming out. Shout out to the Replay gang, and Dan, thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
It's
man.
definitely a fun show. Do it again. Y'all have a good one.
Absolutely.
All right, Bomber. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Of course, want to give shout out to Dan the man in here. Love it. Love when he comes on here. But yeah, you can find me everywhere at HR Bomber. If you can't find me, I'm sorry. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna be trying some more Starfield for sure, just to try to see if I can get over that the not as excited hump that I'm on. So hopefully maybe I can get through it, and maybe there's something that's gonna get me and make me be excited for it. But because I just see too much excitement for it, so I'm like, okay, there's got to be some excitement for it if everybody else is. So I just feel like that, but I know I'm not everybody, so I get it. But yeah, other than that, that's it, baby. Let's go. Enjoy gaming, guys.
All right. And of course, you can find me here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find me on Twitter. Look for Wilmy Hood #2. You can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. And get out there, explore the universe, maybe kick some space chickens, even though it's not a thing yet. But maybe they're out there somewhere. Who knows?
And I can't wait to fuck a cleric.
Yeah, there you go. And,
Watch out.
Wow.
Maniac's still waiting to fuck that bear.
Wow.
And on that note, everybody enjoy some games. Have a great What's Left of Your Week. Oh, actually, it's Labor Day weekend, so you get tomorrow off.
Dan, you screwed
And-
Shadowheart. You know you did.
And
Hmm.
we are back on Rumble as of tonight, so say hello to everybody that's going to watch this after the show. And everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you back here next week. I do believe. I think. Yeah, probably. Bye.